In this example, Gary is relocating to a new city, and he knows he's going to be there for at least 10 years, but he's uncertain whether or not he wants to rent an apartment or buy a home for that time that he's going to be working, since he eventually wants to return home to his home city. So he's going to compare the accumulated mortgage cost versus the accumulated rental cost before making any decisions. What we know about Gary is he can afford a monthly rent of $2,500, and if he buys a house, he can put $100,000 down and take out a $350,000 mortgage with a 20-year loan and an APR of 6%. So we're going to study the two mortgage or accumulated mortgage and accumulated rent spreadsheets and see if we can help make Gary make a decision. First thing to notice, the spreadsheet in the top right corner is our renting spreadsheet. And then our spreadsheet for the bottom spreadsheet is our buying spreadsheet. Notice the renting spreadsheet is a year to year to year. So we can see that in the first month or in the first year of the apartment for the renting, he's going to pay $30,000. Since we're going to take our rent, $2,500, multiply it by 12 for our 12 months, and we can see that's going to total up then to $30,000 for that full year. And then we're keeping a running total of the years as we go. So adding on that 30,000, 30,000, 30,000, 30,000 each time there for in the end to be a total of $328,491 that we're renting here. In our buying, we're starting out with a $350,000 loan for our beginning balance, and we're looking at those monthly payments. So we're looking at our monthly payment, our ending balance after that month, and we finally have that very last monthly balance down there that we can see. You'll also notice that on the buying spreadsheet, it only has 120 payments, even though the loan length was 20 years, which should be 240 payments. The reason being is Gary, remember, is going to move back home after 10 years. So after the 10 years are up, he's paid $328,491.63 in rent. After 10 years on the house, Gary would still owe the bank $225,859. And out of those 120 payments, he's only paid $124,140 of his loan to the company. And he's paid $176,761 in interest to the loan company. His monthly payment, though, is about the same. Notice that for renting, he paid $25,000. For buying, he paid about $25,000. But at the end of the 10 years, he doesn't have to pay anymore. He doesn't owe any more on his rent. Whereas he still owes that $225,000 to the bank. He's only paid $125,000 toward the actual buying of the house itself. The rest has gone towards the interest amount. So all in all, when this 10 years is over, Gary doesn't owe any more to pay rent, but he's paid $328,000 to somebody that he doesn't get anything back for. Whereas if he pays $2,500 for his mortgage, he's still at the end of 10 years, he's still paid $328,000 about total overall. So he's paid equal the same amount to live in both of those places. But at the end of owning his house, that $124,000 that has gone towards his principal, he has that as equity. So the $328,000 he used for rent, it's just gone. He doesn't have any equity. He doesn't have any amount that he's paid towards his property. That property was just for renting. If he pays the same amount for rent, he has this equity. The amount he paid towards the principal at the beginning or towards the principal each time of the month, plus that $100,000 down payment that Gary made. So he really has $124,000 that he has in credit towards that house. So when he goes to sell that house and move out, if he sells it for the exact same amount as what he bought it for, he gets to have $124,000 of it, whereas the bank is going to keep the $225,000 that he would still owe them.